this weekend. I wonder if Marquise wants to go.
Probably not, right? No.
Yes,
No, I don't think so. He doesn't sound so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
That's funny. Maybe you and me could go. You only have 2 seats, right?
Yeah, man, I guess they're already full.
Oh, but...
Get Wilson.
Oh, that's
Can't stay.
So we read the Bhagavatam?
I gotta be there in an hour.
Both.
Yeah.
Just wondering if first. Just wondering if I need it.
I know, I think it's very exciting. A lot of hamster.
Oh, Bhagavat. In every sense of the term. I think it's 6. What is this shit? Here, look at the front. Look at the front. That's it. Let's picture the festival. SanDiego Ashram Library. Check out first before reading or using. Do I need to check this out?
I found a shutter late Saturday.
For reading or using? What will you use it for if you're not using it for reading?
What are you using, not using one?
It says, check out first. This is a note on the front of the book. ISKCON of SanDiego Ashram Library. Check out first before reading or using.
Oh.
Yes,
If you're not going to use it for reading, what are you going to use it for?
it's okay.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Pretending you're reading.
Whoever wrote that many moons ago.
Pretending you're reading.
I wrote that.
He wrote that on it.
No, it's a little tag. It's printed. But it's, yeah,
Try to avoid it getting spirited away.
Who's that I just went through?
Oh, gosh. That was Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay? Uncle Jay coming back to class? What do you know?
Okay. Almost 8.
He's cooking breakfast?
Thank you, helping second.
Yeah, well, good idea. Santosha's under a lot of pressure. You forgot that no one's cooking the Raj Boga today.
Oh, gosh.
Probably under a lot of pressure. So, you can depressurize it.
No. Have you had a massage from Daddy's to do before?
Bad.
He has a massage spot up there next to mine.
Disciple
I'm just
of
kind of curious,
Mahabharata,
are we
you know
going to
that?
be
Really?
putting the
Mahabharata
mats
was
over
his
here from
teacher.
now on?
Oh, Bardas.
The mats are over there in that configuration.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's the new configuration.
Oh, it's going to be like that, huh?
Oh, I know. It leaves a nice space for these mats.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of mats that are in here. Doesn't matter if we get a crowd.
I don't think so.
Radhe,
Oh, yeah.
Radhe Govinda, 2:30. There we go. No, we may do both.
The other is down over there. Did you write one?
have our brass section. There's one there. Two. Got two of them. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Sri Radha Madhava ki, Sri Radha Giridhari ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajika Jaja Shodhara Shishimad His Divine Grace Sabai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajika Jaja Shodhara Shishimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Sri Panihati Maha 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 Mahotsava ki Sri Nityanandaram ki Sri Raghunath Das Goswami ki, Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki, Gaura Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Shunyavadi Bhashyadya Dishatarine. My voice is about ready to go, so if it meets your voice, I'll try to bring them both back, okay? It goes to the same place. A little drink here. Today is the Chipped Rice Festival in Panihati. And to celebrate that, we're having pizza for breakfast.
Again?
No, I'm just joking. You making chipped rice? Did you arrange for that yesterday, Bhakti Zach? Remember our conversation?
I tried to establish Santosh, but I think he
Okay. So I've like to read that about that pastime. Okay. And then we can read from Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that okay?
Good idea.
It's a good idea. This pastime brings out the glories of Lord Nityananda, the glories of Raghunath Das Goswami, the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the glories of Raghava Pandit Prabhu, so in all the devotees, so and the mercy and the actual process of becoming favored or advanced in Krishna consciousness. So there's a lot here, and also how devotees take prasad, great jubilation. Like that. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay. So this is from Anchalila chapter 6. It is the chapter entitled Lord Chaitanya Meets Raghunath Das Goswami. And
Madhya 6?
Madhya, Anchalila, I'm sorry. Did I say Madhya?
You did.
Okay. Senior moment. Anchalila. Like that.
Excellent.
I think we're going to start with text 41. At this point, if you're familiar with the story of Raghunath Das Goswami, he was the son of a billionaire, pretty much. He's multimillionaire, maybe billionaire, if you want to count rupees. At least he was a billionaire. And he kept trying to run away from home and join Lord Chaitanya's movement. And his parents tried all kinds of things, and he would run away sometimes, and they had to send his personal security force after him and bring him back. And Raghunath Das Goswami's mother said to her husband, "Why don't you just tie him up like with chains?" And he said, I've already given him a beautiful wife, like a goddess of fortune and all these different things. If these can't keep him here, what are ordinary ropes and chains going to do? So they're very, very frustrated. You can imagine they had all these plans for their son to become they were devotees also, but not the kind of devotee who runs off and becomes a sannyasi or brahmachari. They weren't into that. No, Kama Mishra. They were very, very charitable in many different ways, but the idea of their own son becoming a devotee, they didn't want to do that. And in fact, his father said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy upon him. Who can keep home such a madman of Chaitanya Chandra? So in other words, the poison is entered. There's no cure. So it says here, then Raghunath Das considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Gosani. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others. Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds and thousands of rising suns. So if you saw that, you need to get sunglasses like Abhinandan. That's pretty bright. Beautiful effulgence. It just was so beautiful, he's comparing it like that. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place, and the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, there's Raghunath Das offering you obeisances. So he pointed it out. Hearing this, Nityananda Prabhu said, you are a thief. Now you have come to see me. Come here today. I shall punish you. The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head. What a punishment. Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das as follows, you are just like a thief, for instead of coming near, you stay away at a distant place. Now that I have captured you, I shall punish you. This is his punishment. Make a festival and feed all of my associates yogurt and chipped rice. Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Had a chance for service. Raghunath Das immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of edibles and bring them back. Raghunath Das brought chipped rice, yogurt, milk, sweetmeats, sugar, bananas, and other edibles and placed them all around. As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of Brahmins and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people. Shivananda Prabhu, who was the Prabhupada disciple who went to Germany all by himself, he once told me, Prabhupada told him that a Vaishnava is enlivened when he sees two things, a place to go swimming and an opportunity for prasadam. So positive devotees become enlivened, Vaishnavas become enlivened when they see prasadam and an opportunity, a nice place to swim. So as soon as there's an announcement, there's prasadam, somehow all the devotees come out of the woodwork, right? When there's a feast or festival, they just all come. So it's a devotional qualification, taking the Lord's prasad. Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more edibles from other villages. He also brought 200 or 400 large, round earthen pots. That's a lot of pots. Because back then you couldn't call like U-Haul, and they didn't even have rickshaws. So how they're carrying them, all these tungas and things like that, is bringing hundreds of pots. He also obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a brahmana began soaking chipped rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. In one place, chipped rice was soaked with hot milk in each of the large pots. Then half the rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as chanpakala. Then sugar, clarified butter, and camphor was added. Just a little bit of camphor. Just so you barely even taste it. When you put camphor in cooking, you should just be a hint. Like, is that camphor? Shouldn't be like, whoa, like, medicine. Like that. So if you ever cook with camphor, has to be edible camphor and just a fragrance. After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his cloth for a new one and sat on the raised platform, the Brahmana brought before him 7 huge pots. On the platform, all the most important associates of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, as well as other important men, sat down in a circle around the Lord. Among them were Ramdas, Sundarananda, Gadadhar Das, Murari, Kamalakara, Sadashiva, and Purandara. Dhananjaya, Jagadish, Parameshwara Das, Mahesh, Gauri Das, and Hoda Krishna Das were also there. Do you know who these personalities were in Krishna Lila? Well, no, Lord Nityananda, his cowherd Gopals. Yeah, these are all Gopas, his friends in Vrindavan Lila. They appeared in Chaitanya Lila to be with him. Similarly, Udarana Dat Thakur and many other personal associates of the Lord sat on the raised platform with Nityananda Prabhu. No one can count all of them. Purport. The devotees mentioned here as described by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Anubhasya. For further information, one may consult the following references in the Adi Lila. Then it gives all the names and verses and so on. Hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, brahmanas, and priests were there. Lord Nityananda Prabhu honored them and made them sit on the raised platform with him. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots, and one pot chipped rice with condensed milk, and the other pot chipped rice with yogurt. Does that sound delicious? Yeah. All the other people sat in groups around the platform. No one can count how many people were there. That's not difficult for India, right? Any fish just like this fills up, and there's no way you can count them. You just keep cooking, right? You don't even think. A lot of times here we take a head count. How many people come on the Sunday feast? Write it down, and we prepare this. But there you just cook, and you can't count all the people. You just come and take prasad. It's like Krishna is feeding unlimited living entities. Krishna's arranging for that. So each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots, one of chipped rice soaked in yogurt, and the other of chipped rice soaked in condensed milk. Some of the Brahmins, not having gotten a place on the platform, went to the bank of the Ganges with their 2 earthen pots and soaked their chipped rice there. Others, who could not get a place even on the bank of the Ganges, got down into the water and began eating their 2 kinds of chipped rice. That's determined, right? Thus, some sat on the platform, some at the base of the platform, some on the bank of the Ganges, and they were all supplied 2 pots each by the 20 men who distributed the food. At that time, Raghava Pandit arrived there. Seeing the situation, he began to laugh in great surprise. He brought many other kinds of food cooked in ghee and offered it to the Lord. This prasad he first placed before Lord Nityananda and then distributed among the devotees. Raghava Pandit said to Lord Nityananda, for you, sir, I have already offered food to the deity, but you are engaged in a festival here, and so the food is lying there untouched. Lord Nityananda replied, let me eat all this food here during the day, and I shall eat at your home at night. So he lived nearby, and he heard about the festival, and he came. And he had already wanted Lord Nityananda to come to his house for lunch. I belong to a community of cowherd boys, and therefore I generally have my cowherd associates with me. I am happy, many cowherd associates with me. I am happy when we eat together in a picnic like this by the sandy bank of the river. Lord Nityananda made Raghava Pandit sit down and had 2 pots delivered to him also. There were 2 kinds of chipped rice. Rice soaked in them. So what are the 2 kinds of chipped rice? Oh, you can't speak. Can he speak on your behalf? Okay. Okay. Do you remember the name of the banana that's put into it? Wow, very good. Very sweet type of banana cut up and put in there. When chipped rice had been served to everyone, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, in meditation, brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, Lord Nityananda Prabhu stood up. They then saw the others were enjoying the chipped rice with yogurt and condensed milk. From each and every pot, Lord Nityananda Prabhu took 1 morsel of chipped rice and pushed it into the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a joke. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also smiling, took a morsel of food, pushed it into the mouth of Nityananda, and laughed as he made Lord Nityananda eat it. In this way, Lord Nityananda was walking through all the groups of eaters, and all the Vaishnavas standing there were seeing the fun. So they were granted this vision. No one could understand what Nityananda Prabhu was doing as he walked about. Some could see. Some, however, who were very fortunate could see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also present. Right? So like breakfast today, if you saw Janardhan walking around breaking off pieces of pizza and going like this, you think, I don't know what's going on with Janardhan, right? But there's someone very fortunate, maybe seeing that actually he was feeding Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, pizza. But if you can't see that, you think, something's wrong in Janardhan's. What's going on here? This is very mystical. Then Nityananda Prabhu smiled and sat down. On his right side he kept 4 pots of chipped rice that had not been made from boiled paddy. Lord Nityananda offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a place and had him sit down. Then together the 2 brothers began eating chipped rice. Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eating with him, Lord Nityananda Prabhu became very happy and exhibited varieties of ecstatic love. Lord Nityananda Prabhu ordered, "All of you eat," chanting the holy name of Hari. Immediately the holy names Hari Hari resounded, filling the entire universe. When all the Vaishnavas are chanting the holy names Hari Hari and eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram, with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the bank of the Jamuna. Ate. How Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys on the bank of the Jamuna. A little blurry here, I should have. There. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu are extremely merciful and liberal. It was Raghunath Das's good fortune that they accepted all these dealings. Who can understand the influence and mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is so powerful that he induced Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come and eat chipped rice on the bank of the Ganges. All the confidential devotees who were cowherd boys, headed by Sri Ram Das, were absorbed in ecstatic love. They thought the bank of the Ganges to be the bank of the Jamuna. When the shopkeepers of many other villages heard about the festival, they arrived there to sell chipped rice, yogurt, sweetmeats, and bananas. Cash in on the festival here, render some seva. As they came bringing all kinds of food, Raghunath Das purchased it all, and he gave them the price for their goods and later fed them the very same food. Very merciful. Anyone who came to see how these funny things were going on was also fed chipped rice, yogurt, and bananas. After Lord Nityananda Prabhu finished eating, he washed his hands and mouth and gave Raghunath Das the food remaining in the 4 pots. There was food remaining in 3 other big pots of Lord Nityananda, and a Brahmin distributed to all the devotees, giving a morsel to each. Then a Brahmin brought a flower garland and placed the garland on Nityananda Prabhu's neck and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body. When a servant brought betel nuts and offered them to Lord Nityananda, the Lord smiled and chewed them. With his own hands, Lord Nityananda Prabhu distributed to all the devotees whatever flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, and betel nuts remained. After receiving the remnants of food left by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das, who was greatly happy, ate some and distributed the rest among his own associates. How many devotees here got the Maha from New Vrindavan this morning? Someone cashed in. Well, Dayanidhi had a bag back there on the table. They looked like little Simply Wonderfuls. Anyone who went by, he said, "Hey, get some."
I saw it.
You saw it.
I was wondering if I thought it was today's sweet.
Yeah, right. No, someone's got a bunch of them. Someone's got a bunch of them because there was a little bag of them. So
Very tasty.
all of them are gone.
They're gone. They're in there.
You know where some are? Okay. If there's any around, you can ask. Like that. So distributing the prasadam.
Vajrayana Swami, he always brings prasadam from places and gives it to one person.
To make sure it gets.
They distribute it.
So he distributed the rest of his own associates. Thus I have described the pastimes of Lord Nityananda Prabhu in relation to the celebrated festival of chipped rice and yogurt. Chidadahi Mahotsava. Chidadahi Mahotsava. So then Lord Nityananda rested for the day, because I want to read a little bit more, because the conclusion of this is very ecstatic. Raghunath Das Goswami receiving the mercy of the devotees and Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu rested for the day, and when the day ended, he went to the temple of Raghava Pandit and began congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So after you're well rested, you do some chanting, some service. Lord Nityananda Prabhu first influenced all the devotees to dance, and finally he himself began dancing, thus inundating the entire world in ecstatic love. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was observing the dancing of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu could see this, but the others could not. That's the dancing of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, like the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, cannot be compared to anything within these three worlds. No one can properly describe the sweetness of Lord Nityananda's dancing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to see it. After the dancing and after Lord Nityananda had rested, Raghava Pandit submitted his request that the Lord take supper. It must be a British thing, supper. It is. Dinner, people say dinner, but supper. My mother is Scottish, she does say supper. You have your supper, she never say dinner. So supper is British, right? Okay, Commonwealth. Lord Nityananda Prabhu sat down for supper with his personal associates and made a sitting place on his right side for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there and sat down at his place. Seeing this, Raghava Pandit felt increasing happiness. Raghava Pandit brought the prasad before the two brothers and thereafter distributed prasad to all the other Vaishnavas. There were varieties of cakes, sweet rice, and fine cooked rice that surpassed the taste of nectar. So rice should be so nice it actually exceeds the taste of nectar. The quality and like that. There are also varieties of vegetables. The food prepared and offered to the deity by Raghava Pandit was like the essence of nectar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there again and again to eat such prasad. When Raghava Pandit offered the food to the deity after cooking, he would make a separate offering for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would eat at the house of Raghava Pandit. So he'd personally come there. Sometimes he would give Raghava Pandit the opportunity to see him. Raghava Pandit would bring and distribute prasad to the two brothers, feeding them with great attention. They ate everything, and therefore there were no remnants left. He brought so many presentations that no one could know them perfectly. Indeed, it was a fact that the Supreme Mother, Radharani, personally cooked in the house of Raghava Pandit. Srimati Radharani received from Durvasa Muni the benediction that whatever she cooked would be sweeter than nectar. That is the special feature of her cooking. Aromatic and pleasing to see, the food was the essence of all sweetness. Thus the two brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, ate it with great satisfaction. All the devotees present requested Raghunath Das to sit down and take prasad, but Raghava Pandit told them he will take prasad later. All the devotees took prasad, filling themselves to the brim. It says here. Yeah, akanta. Akanta bhojana means up to the neck. Akanta means akanta bhojana, that's a saying. Take prasad of akanta bhojana, up to your neck. Okay? Thereafter, chanting the holy name of Hari, they stood up and washed their hands and mouths. So I guess when you finish prasadam, you should chant the name of Hari, Hari, and go wash it. Dr. Devuri, you know Mrs. Devuri in Deer, when he was there, whenever he took prasadam with him at his house and the family, no one, of course, all these kids and grandkids, no one could leave the table until they recited a verse. So everyone had to recite a verse. And then during the meal, sometimes he'd ask, recite a verse, recite a verse. So you couldn't leave, when you were done, you couldn't leave until you recited some verse. So I said, yeah. So after eating, the two brothers washed their hands and mouths. Then Raghava Pandit brought flower garlands and sandalwood pulp and decorated them. So we should institute this. After prasadam, there should be garlands and sandalwood pulp for all the devotees. Like that. Right? I mean, just see the sweetness of this culture. How everything is so nicely done. Like that. Raghava Pandit offered them betel nuts and worshipped their lotus feet. He also distributed betel nuts, flower garlands, and sandalwood pulp to the devotees. Raghava Pandit, being very merciful toward Raghunath Das, offered him the dishes with the remnants of food left by the two brothers. He said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has eaten this food. If you take his remnants, you will be released from the bondage of your family. So they all knew what was going on. He was having a tough time getting out, getting out of his entanglement. Like that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead always resides in the heart or in the home of a devotee. Two places he resides. This fact is sometimes hidden and sometimes manifest, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully independent. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive, and therefore he resides everywhere. Anyone who doubts this will be annihilated. A little heavy preaching there. Whoa. In the morning, after taking his bath in the Ganges, Nityananda Prabhu sat down with all his associates beneath the same tree under which he had previously sat. So he must have liked that spot. Isn't it when you go to Panihati, they say that the same tree is there, or the descendant of that tree? I think so. And the devotees go to Mayapur, go and have the festival there. And the same tree is there, Nityananda sat under. Raghunath Das went there and worshipped Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. Through Raghava Pandit, he submitted his desire. Now, what does that mean? Raghava Pandit spoke on his behalf? Yeah, that's what it usually means, right? He was too humble. You please ask Lord Nityananda this for me. I am the lowest of men, the most sinful, fallen, and condemned. Nevertheless, I desire to attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon, I have tried my best many times, but I have never been successful. Every time I tried to go away and give up my home relationships, my father and mother unfortunately kept me bound. No one can attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without your mercy, but if you are merciful, even the lowest of men can attain the shelter of his lotus feet. Although I am unfit and greatly afraid to submit this plea, I nevertheless request you, sir, to be especially merciful toward me by granting me shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the prayer to Lord Nityananda. Placing your feet on my head, give me the benediction that I may achieve the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without difficulty. I pray for this benediction. Back to Zach. After hearing this appeal by Raghunath Das, Lord Nityananda Prabhu smiled and told all the devotees, Raghunath Das's standard of material happiness is equal to that of Indra, the king of heaven. Because of the mercy bestowed upon him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das, although situated in such material happiness, does not like it at all. Therefore, let every one of you be merciful toward him and give him the benediction that he may very soon attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna does not even value the standard of happiness available in Brahmaloka, the topmost planet, what to speak of the heavenly planets. And this is a verse quoted from the 5th canto. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is offered sublime poetic prayers by those trying to attain his favor. Thus he is known as Uttama Shloka. Being very eager to gain the association of Lord Krishna, King Bharat, although in the prime of youth, gave up his very attractive wife, affectionate children, most beloved friends, and opulent kingdom, exactly as one gives up stool after excreting it. Materialists don't like this verse at all. What are you saying? Materialistic people, they're saying, my wife's like a piece of stool, my friends, my kingdom, my youth, my children are a stool. What are you saying here? Right? Crazy Hare Krishnas. And this is like, this has gone too far. This is over the top. You've gone too far, right? Sometimes someone says something like this. Bill Maher made a racial slur now. You know, it's all these newscasters, they get axed half the time because they say what's really on their mind, and you're not supposed to. Racial slurs, sexual slurs, and all that offend all kinds of people, and they get chopped, you know. They've gone too far. They went over the edge. So what do we just say here? Actually, what's being said is that Krishna consciousness is so much higher than all of these things, one just doesn't have any more attraction to this type of happiness. That's what's being said here. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet on Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. So he put his feet on his head, then started talking. It's like a lecture with his feet are on his head. My dear Raghunath Das, he said, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. By his causeless mercy, he ate the chipped rice and milk. Then, after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaura Hari came here personally to deliver you. Now rest assured, all the impediments meant for your bondage are gone. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary, Suk Damodar. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being assured of all this, return to your own home. Very soon, without impediments, you will attain the shelter of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda had Raghunath Das blessed by all the devotees, and Raghunath Das offered his respects to their lotus feet. Reminds me, many years ago, I was in Vrindavan, and Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was there. He used to be here. He joined here. He said, let's go parikram of Govardhan Hill. We didn't have much time, so we did it in a taxi, stopping at different places, you know. So when we got to Radha Kund, because he knew, he'd been there many times, he knew one Pandit, so he had this Pandit do a puja for Radha Kund, me, and extorted every single rupee out of my pocket. But, you know, it was fun. And then he had me go to the Sangam. You know what the Sangam is that little bridge that between Radhakund and Shyamkund, little temple there, and there's Govardhan Shilas. There's a bunch of Brahmins just sitting there. He had me touch all their feet and ask them for blessings. So I was just like all these old Brahmins sitting there like that, Vaishnavas, and he had me go, and they didn't know, they kind of knew. I think they went like this. Those are rupees. But he said, you have to get the blessings of the Brajbasis. So he made me, as part of the puja, he made me put my head on all their feet. I didn't ask for blessing. So this is a standard like that. So after taking leave of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and then all the other Vaishnavas, Sri Raghunath Das consulted secretly with Raghava Pandit. After consulting with Raghava Pandit, he secretly delivered 100 gold coins and about 7 tolas of gold to the hand of Nityananda Prabhu's treasurer. So he had a treasurer that traveled with him, made all kinds of arrangements. So it was very practical. It wasn't just all this, very practical. Raghunath Das admonished the treasurer, do not speak about this to Lord Nityananda Prabhu now, but when he returns home, kindly inform him about this presentation. Thereupon Raghava Pandit took Raghunath Das to his home. After inducing him to see the deity, he gave Raghunath Das a garland and sandalwood pulp. He gave Raghunath Das a large quantity of prasad to eat on his way home. Then Raghunath Das again spoke to Raghava Pandit. I want to give money, he said, just to worship the lotus feet of all the great devotee servants and subservants. So you have servants and subservants. So those must be the ones who serve the servants, right? Das, das, anu, das. Of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Asrita Jan. You got the Britya servants and you got the Asrita Jan, subservient people. As you think fit, give 20, 15, 12, 10, or 5 coins to each of them. Like that, how advanced you are, how big your sikh is, I don't know. You kind of 20, 15, 12, 10, or 5 to each of them. How much do you think you would get? 5. Very humble. Raghunath Das drew up an account of the amount to be given and submitted it to Raghava Pandit, and then made up a list showing how much money was to be paid to each and every devotee. Great humility. Raghunath Das placed 100 gold coins and about 2 tolas of gold before Raghava Pandit for all the other devotees. After taking the dust from the feet of Raghava Pandit, Raghunath Das returned to his home, feeling greatly obligated to Lord Nityananda Prabhu because of having received his merciful benediction. Then it goes on to tell what happened, how he achieved, how he escaped. So, what? The verse is written for tomorrow. So, what are some of the things in here that come out? Yeah. So important.